welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I'd like to encourage everyone on my Facebook friends list, everyone in my social groups, and all of my listeners worldwide. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button and share this video podcast with your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's free. Help make this video podcast go viral by posting this link to your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and or on your Twitter page. This video podcast is available in 3 forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. On my YouTube channel, you can watch my latest video podcasts. I provide direct links to our virtual store, my Amazon author page, our PayPal page, my Medium page, and our GoFundMe page under the About section. We look forward to having you on board with us as we embrace upon this exciting project. If you are listening to this audio podcast on Anchor, just click on the YouTube icon to connect with my YouTube channel. In order to follow along with my presentation, I strongly recommend everyone on my Facebook friends list exchange emails with me so that I can email you everything I do online. I encourage all of my listeners to follow me on my Medium page. This is where I post my transcript so that you can read my full speech word for word or click on the audio version to hear my speech. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. I give Black authors and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from around the globe. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. I am not interested in writing and publishing more books, but rather producing quality Black empowerment films and creating successful Black businesses. I am not online to beg for donations. I want to exchange something of value. My thing is, if I am going to ask for something, then I'm going to have a product or service behind it, like my revised book or my virtual store. This video podcast is an extension of the grassroots community activist movement. Over here, we promote critical thinking while discussing social issues throughout the diaspora and on the African continent until the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago materialize. It's my hope through this podcast and through my social groups I can connect with other like-minded Black people, African people, Afro-Caribbean people, Afro-Brazilian people, and others who will work with me directly in turning my vision and plan for Black America and Africa into a reality. Once we get this film project fully funded and made and get our Christian business up and running, then I would love to invite many of you to Chicago, Illinois to speak or preach during our live events. Through the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, we will help pay for your travel and hotel expenses pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will also compensate you for your time and talent. Please mark your calendar for Thursday, March 23rd. Our guest speaker, Apostle Dr. Grace Kakuthi Thompson, who will share a 30-minute sermon with our listeners worldwide. Saturday, March 25th, I would like to personally invite everyone on my Facebook friends list, everyone in my social groups, and all of my listeners from around the globe to participate on our virtual conference. I'm still looking for at least 5 people to be on my panel. I prefer that we practice using StreamYard in advance so that we can do a professional show that will challenge our competitors. With StreamYard, we can interact with our audience in the chat room during the show. Theme: confronting modern issues within Christianity. Time: 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. American Central Time. 3 p.m. Canadian Time. 8 p.m. West African Time. 9 p.m. South African Time. 10 p.m. East African Time. And 8 p.m. UK Time. Instruction on how to participate on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time, either by voice call, by clicking on the phone icon, or by video call by clicking on the camera icon. Today's topic of discussion: exposing the hidden agenda the West has against Africa. When we say the West, that includes Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. All Western nations are in cahoots with trying to impose LGBT on African nations. Well, recently in Kenya, there was a Supreme Court decision about LGBT, which stated if you have an NGO, non-government organization, that is affiliated with LGBT, then that can be acceptable and they can register within Kenya. The Prime Minister, Peter Karuhuma, spoke out against the Supreme Court decision. The Prime Minister introduced a bill in Parliament to counter the Supreme Court decision because a majority of Kenyans are not interested in having an alternative lifestyle. This is a tactic that the West is using to get their foot back in Kenya. The white supremacist financial elites gave Obama the green light to promote LGBT in Kenya. Kenya has progressed even after rejecting foreign aid from the Obama administration. Uganda passed a law stating that if you are LGBT and caught, then you're going to jail for life. Uganda does not need the West for anything. They have all the natural resources. It's the West that needs their resources. I encourage my listeners to go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to Show Improved so that you can watch the video clips about this case. Then I will explain to you why this is happening now. Everybody is trying to partner with African nations because that's where all of the natural resources are. In the video clip, the Prime Minister talked about their religious organizations who are also standing against the Supreme Court decision. In contrast, in the United States of America, a majority of our religious organizations welcome LGBT. They are afraid to speak out against systematic racism and all of the whoredom that's taking place in our society. There's a theory that by 2050, it is projected that the African continent will have 2.5 billion people. The cat is out of the bag, meaning the West is coming for African children. Just look at what's happening in America. We have all of these drag queens dancing around our children. They should be somewhere for adults, not children. The white supremacist financial elites want and need those natural resources, and the more Africans in Africa and the more the African population will begin to wake up and start standing up against the former colonizers. The Chinese are doing things they should not be doing. But at least the Chinese are building things up in Africa in exchange for resources. Truth be told, the West enjoys seeing Africa remains undeveloped, a so-called third world nation. The purpose of them trying to impose LGBT on African nations is to slow the birth rate down. The white supremacist financial elites were successful in destroying the black family in America. For example, as I mentioned in my revised book, in the 70s, over 20 million black babies were aborted. The second video clip, the sister did not accept any bribe because of her morality. You black voters who voted for the Democrats, you are just as wicked as the white supremacist financial elites because you voted for them and you know the agendas they promote. Shame on you. The moment Biden got into office, they start picking on Africa by trying to destabilize Ethiopia. Thank God it didn't work. Now, Jill Biden is visiting Africa, trying to impose the LGBT agenda in Africa. Black people around the globe are waking up. The white supremacist financial elites know that if you accept their ideals and the things they live by, which is against the Bible, they know you won't rise because you're participating in that wickedness with them. My purpose for doing this podcast is to connect with like-minded black people, African immigrants in America, Afro-Brazilians, and Afro-Caribbeans. Our first task is to get my revised book on that bestsellers list and to encourage my listeners, people in my social groups to donate what you can to our film project so that we can move this Christian socialist organization from behind a computer starting in Chicago. I am calling upon black millennials and Generation Z to share my information in order to help speed up the process. I do not want to be doing this another 31 years. We're trying to build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago so that black youth will have something to be proud of. Before I cut and run to Africa, I want to make sure that we have our support systems in place, meaning having qualified black middle class professionals in place in order to make sure that this organization will be effective and successful for years to come. In Ghettos, Chicago, we will focus on strengthening the black family and providing a safe environment for our black youth and their families. Ghettos, Chicago will focus on teaching financial literacy, including professional financial management, budgeting, and investing. In Ghettos, Chicago, we will focus on hosting African tours to 10 African nations that are part of my African group, Ghettos of Africa, in order to connect black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs and connect black artists with African artists. I don't want to be bogged down with black American issues. I want to bring my talents and skills to the African continent. The sooner we are able to get Ghettos Chicago up and running, then I will lead by example. First, I need to be sure that I can sustain myself in South Africa and be in a position financially to offer tangibles to my African group members who are active and participating on my podcast. I will apply for dual citizenship. I will also set up a chapter in South Africa as well as shoot our second film there in order to prove to my brothers and sisters on the continent that I mean business. Anyone who believes that this is a scam, then I suggest that you delete me off your friends list and don't come to no events with my name on it. We're going to nip this in the bud today. GRCAM members worldwide, work with me now. Don't wait until I am dead. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section on my YouTube page. Most of all, share this video podcast with your friends on all social sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Thank you all for listening to this podcast. Again, I want to encourage people that's on my friends list and people that's in my social groups on Facebook. I'm looking for 5 people to practice with me on StreamYard as it pertains to our upcoming event next Saturday for our GCAM virtual conference. I want to have at least 5 people to be on the panel. So that way, again, that's going to be Saturday, March 25th. And the theme is confronting modern issues within Christianity. I want 5 people that's on my friends list or that's in my social groups that would be willing to practice with me on StreamYard before I have you on the panel. I'm going to write out my speech and I'm going to send that to you, and then you have you can use your own interpretation about what I wrote about and explain it the best of your ability in terms of from a spiritual perspective. Then after that, I'm going to open up the phone lines for everybody that's on Facebook who wants to participate and be a part of this. But again, the whole reason why we're hosting these virtual conference on a monthly basis is to raise money for our film project, which is Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. And you can find all that information. I'm gonna post that in the comment section below this video podcast. The main things I want to encourage my listeners to look out for would be my revised book on Amazon. So please purchase the book, either the ebook for $9.99 or the softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. Then it's up to you if you want to get some items from our virtual store. I have that listed on there. Or you could just go ahead and donate directly through our GoFundMe page. Whatever the Lord lay on your heart to share. Or you could donate directly through our PayPal page. And if you're a U.S. citizen, you will be able to get your money back as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3. Only thing that I'm lacking, again, I don't have that physical building, nor do I have any employees at this time. That's how come I'm trying to do the film project, because I was under the impression that my revised book would have been on the bestsellers list by now, and I could have, got this organization up and running without even having to do a film. But it is what it is. I'm going to have to do a film. So that's where we're at. And I am determined to move this organization from behind a computer. I'm not behind a computer because I want to be. This is where I'm at because I lack 2 things. I lack the manpower and I lack the capital. That's why I wrote my book, in order to generate capital. That's why I created the virtual store, in order to generate capital. Unfortunately, a lot of Black Americans, they seem like they don't care about a solution. Unfortunately, because of this Willie Lynch mentality within our culture. And so that's what we're coming against in my film and in my Christian business. We're coming against this Willie Lynch mentality head on. And